Salutatorian. build a bigger ball. That would be awesome.
Please remain standing for the presentation of the colors and the singing of the national anthem. You may be seated. Good evening. My name is Logan Ruth. On behalf of the graduating class of 2019, I would like to welcome you, parents, family, and friends. Without you, today wouldn't be possible. 13 years ago, you helped us pack our new backpacks full of supplies for our very first day of kindergarten. We were excited and nervous, and you held our hands and helped us feel brave, just like you have continued to do throughout the years. We may not have always shown our appreciation, but tonight we would like to say thank you. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for packing lunches, helping with school projects, giving late-night advice, and supporting us through every step. We have come to this moment through your guidance. Once again, we would like to welcome you to the graduation ceremony of the class of 2019.
On behalf of Providence Grove High School, I am pleased to welcome you to this graduation ceremony recognizing the class of 2019. The guests of honor joining me on the platform are Ms. Alicia Timmons, Assistant Principal, Ms. Donna Brown, Instructional Lead Teacher, Mr. Benjamin Brickhouse, selected by the class of 2019 to speak on behalf of the Providence Grove High School faculty. From the Central Office Administrative Staff, Ms. Catherine Berry, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Kathy Wydell, Director of Secondary Education. From the Randolph County Board of Education, Mr. Fred Burgess, and the County Commissioner, Mr. David Allen. I would also like to introduce the mascots for the class of 2019. Ms. Ava Miller, daughter of Lee Miller and Lisa Miller of Randleman. Master Leighton Fox, son of Lee and Liz Fox of Liberty. Finally, to the parents, family members, and other guests in attendance, we appreciate you being here to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2019. Now, it is my special privilege to introduce the Salutatorian and Valedictorian for the class of 2019. This year's Salutatorian is Avery Browder, daughter of Cameron and Robin Browder.
Good evening, distinguished guests, faculty, family members, and fellow graduates. I would like to take this time to thank all of the people who helped us reach this point, including our families, teachers, and friends. Their constant support and guidance over the past 12 years has given us the confidence to dive headfirst into the next chapter of our lives. Next, I would like to congratulate the class of 2019 on their outstanding achievements. Whether you plan to attend college next year, go into the military, or enter the workforce, I feel certain that you will all excel in whatever path you choose. When asked to write this speech only a few short hours ago, the words of my favorite country music legend came to mind. Alan Jackson once said, "Spread your wings, don't be afraid to try. The world can be hard, you gotta live a little before you die. So open that door, step out in the bright sunshine, follow your heart, and remember anytime you can always come home." So, my fellow graduates, as we begin the next chapter of our lives, remember to work hard, stay positive, and never forget where you came from. Congratulations.
The Providence Grove class of 2019 valedictorian is Miss Mackenzie Harden, daughter of William Harden and Tammy Sloan.
Good evening, seniors and guests. My name is Mackenzie Harden, and I have the privilege of speaking to y'all tonight as the valedictorian of the class of 2019. Being granted this accolade is truly an honor, as Providence Grove's class of 2019 is comprised of dedicated, hardworking, and intelligent students. First, I'd like to thank the staff and teachers here at the Grove. Your support, advice, and assistance have aided in my success here. I'd also like to thank my family and friends for their continuous support and encouragement. Furthermore, as we sit here today, in this gym, our very last day as high school students, I hope you take a moment to reflect on the 4 years we've spent here. Through this time, we've all faced many obstacles and overcame them within these walls. However, we have also achieved many victories, and I hope that you cherish these moments. The lessons we have learned through these challenges and victories are aspects of our youth that we can carry with us throughout our future journeys in this world, because whether we like it or not, this journey has reached its end. Personally, my 4 years here have taught me that there is more to life than who we are today or who we once were. Through the tragic losses we have all experienced, and the loved ones who are unable to celebrate this accomplishment with us here today, we see that these 4 years do not define us. Of course, our time here has shaped us, fertilized us, and helped us grow into the young adults that we are. But now, as we embark on this new journey and discover who we truly are and who we want to become, we must keep in mind there is more to this life than we have previously noticed. We are now entering the real world, where our actions and our legacy can truly change the world. However, this requires us to be bold and step out of our comfort zones. As former U.S. President John F. Kennedy once said, "There are risks and costs to actions, but they are far less than the long-range risk of comfortable inaction." So how can we take action? How can we make a difference once we leave this high school behind? Well, a good place to begin is by opening our eyes to the bigger picture. This world is far too large to only be concerned about ourselves. I mean, the human race has done this for centuries, and now our oceans are overflowing with our own harmful waste. So we must step up and take these uncomfortable risks. Now, as we venture out of Randolph County and leave the friendships we made in elementary school behind, or as some of us stay close to home and grow in this beautiful agricultural-filled county, we must all remember the things that we've learned inside and outside of the walls here at Providence Grove High School. This may sound cliche, but we can all truly do anything we set our minds to. If we can take a step back and look at the bigger picture, we can build ourselves a bright, powerful, world-altering future. After all, this life is short, so we must take action now. So congratulations to the class of 2019.
So from what I understand, you're not here to hear me, so I'll make this pretty quick, and you want to see your kids go across the stage. So let's get started. Throughout high school, we've all looked at this day with excitement. We've said things like, I can't wait to get out of here, and I'm ready to go make money, and then other things like this, and some comments that don't need to be repeated on the stage. So looking back at high school, I can honestly say that I was wrong for the most part in saying all these things. What other public institutions would allow you to come here and get career training, or have access to a gym and sporting facilities, compete in sporting activities, join clubs that we love, all for free. Or not for free, excuse me, $12 in annual fees. The good news isn't that things are going to get easier, because generally speaking, high school is easy. I know it was easy for most of us. I mean, as seniors, we pretty much had it made this whole last year. The good news is, it's not that we're going to get easy, or things are going to get easier as we go on, but it's that we're equipped for the increasing difficulty. Many of us are going to college, some to the workforce, and some of us are still finding ourselves. If you think that the hard part is over, you're in for a rude awakening. Although life is about to speed up, we have so much to look forward to. Students, look at the person to your right and left. Go ahead and look at them real quick. All right, you saw them? Odds are that in 10 years from now, that person's going to be a husband or wife. They're probably going to have kids and a family, and they're going to be settled into a career and doing all the things that our parents do now. You're yourself going to do the same. Odds are that you'll probably be married, possibly with children, and living your life. 10 years sounds like a long time sitting here tonight when we talk about looking 10 years in the future. But when we look back in time 10 years, how many of you guys remember the Hannah Montana movie, Aaron? Remember that? That was 10 years ago. President Obama was inaugurated 10 years ago. The movie Up came out 10 years ago. Russell and Mr. Fredrickson. That was 10 years ago. Just like those things feel like yesterday, this night will feel like yesterday in 10 years. With that being said, let's look into the future 10 years. As class president, I'm going to be stressing about planning out our reunion and everything that comes out with that, but hopefully you guys won't have the same stress I will. In 10 years, out of the 190 some graduates that we have, you're probably going to know 3 or 4 of them and keep in contact with 3 or 4 of them. So let that settle in a bit. All of our friends now, we're probably going to know a small amount of them. I'm getting the exciting part, just go through the depressing part real quick. Your friend groups are going to change like you never expected. Many of us won't even live in North Carolina, and even a smaller percentage of us are going to stay in Climax, Liberty, Randleman, and all of our other local communities. Your location is going to change, and your connection to high school is going to be altered. Most of us will be settled into a career. There's going to be some students who shock everyone with their success, and some students will shock us with their lack of success. So we're not one of those. Continually work to be the person who surprises the community in a positive way. Some of us will be awake at 2 a.m. every night to take care of a crying baby. When all these times come for us, nothing else will matter except the people in our lives then and the life we will have then. I say this not to discourage you about high school being ultimately futile and over, for the most part, but rather to encourage you in what lies ahead. In Brad Paisley's song, Letter to Me, he writes to himself, he writes to his 17-year-old self as a grown man with a family. The last line of the song has always stuck with me. He says, "And I end by saying, have no fear, because these are nowhere near the best days of your life." Stress has been a constant for a lot of us over the last 4 years. Whether that's in the form of schoolwork, sports, or time management, we get bogged down in our tough decisions and forget to look into the future with hope. Knowing that the best is yet to come helps me cope with the stress that comes along with high school. This lyric also helps me to look back at high school and cherish the memories I made, but not mourn graduation because of what I have to look forward to. 10 years from now, I hope to see every person sit here tonight succeeding in what they love. And with the hard work you've shown over the past 4 years, I know this is attainable for every one of you. As we all branch off into our next step of life, I ask that everyone do one simple thing: that you remember your teachers, your friends, and your family that helps you get where you are today and where you're going. And remember to thank them for the years of support that you got here. And one last thing I ask that everyone bow their heads in prayer of the class of 2019. Dear God, thank you for this day, and thank you for all the graduates that are here tonight. God, just thank you for the hard work and the determination that you've given them, and I pray that you'll look after them as they go in the real world. God, I just pray that you'll bless them, that you'll bless their hard work, that you'll look after them. and that you'll ultimately just draw them close to you and comfort them through all that. I pray for their families and their future relationships that are coming up in life, that you just be with those and guide them. And thank you so much for allowing us to get where we are today. In your name I pray.
Good evening, I'm Evan Taylor, and I have the honor of introducing this year's keynote speaker. We all know those people that can't help but make an impression wherever they go. This year's faculty speaker is certainly one of those people. Nearing the end of our sophomore year, Dalen and I were informed that we were getting a new basketball coach. His name was Brickhouse. Of course, we kind of looked at each other like, Brickhouse? Like, the song? Well, that was our first impression. But at the time, we had no idea what a big impression and impact he would end up having on our student body, especially our senior class. On any given day, this man can be found in one of two places: in the gym, from his very first day on campus, he has provided nothing but positive energy throughout the hallways, in the classroom, and on the basketball court. Many students credit him as one of the teachers that has had a true impact on their lives. I know this is the case for me. As an athlete who's been lucky enough to play for him, he's not only pushed me to be better as a person, but a better player on the court. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to this year's keynote speaker, Benjamin Brickhouse.
Class of 2019. I want to congratulate you for making it to this point. For many of you, this represents one of the greatest achievements you've experienced in your life. However, it is my hope that in the years to come, this moment won't even come close to ranking towards the top of your list of successes. I also want to thank you for giving me the honor of sharing a few words on your special day. Because you requested my presence, this is the very first graduation I've ever been on time for. I arrived at my own high school graduation just as they called my friend James Braxton to receive his diploma. And his name was only 4 before my own. I tried to lock eyes with my parents in the stands, but their heads were down at the time. I don't think it was because they were disappointed. No, actually it was. They were definitely embarrassed. I'll tell you about my college graduation at the end. In 2002, just before I began my senior year at Hampton High School, I participated in a missionary trip to South Africa. My experience there totally changed my outlook on life. Up until this point, I was just like any other 16-year-old. My truck, it was old and beat up, but it was mine. I worked at a restaurant as a salad bar attendant and constantly brought home ranch dressing, pickled peppers, and fruit. I thought my girlfriend and I would be together forever, until I realized forever was just a code word for until I got to college. I thought I had a good idea of what life was like, but this trip showed me more than I could ever expect. While I was complaining that my McDonald's fries were cold, there were kids my age that weighed half of what I did because they didn't have food. While I was asking my dad for a new stereo system for my truck, there were kids who would gladly sacrifice everything to simply undo the fact that their dad died from a common sickness most of us here could survive with access to the right medicines. Yet beyond the images of poverty and despair, it was a pretty cheerful moment that had the greatest impact on my life from that trip. We visited a tiny village called Ikopo, and a crowd of children cautiously approached our truck as we arrived. When we got out of our vehicle, you could almost say we were engaged in a standoff. The kids were pretty shy, and with the language barrier, we didn't really know what to say. Figuring that our whole reason for being there was to serve, I reached into my pocket. I pulled out some candy. I walked over to the kids, and I extended my hand, offering what I had. The majority of these children, they didn't have shoes, they didn't have clothes, or what we would call clothes. And even though they were visibly hungry, they didn't mock me. Some took a piece for themselves, some grabbed a few pieces to share with their friends, their siblings. Before I knew it, I had to go back and get the rest of my stash because the crowd doubled. Before long, the rest of my group, they joined in. We were running around playing soccer, playing tag, a whole lot of things that you don't need to know the other person's language to play. When it was time to leave, the kids gathered, and in Swahili, they began to sing, "Jesus Loves Me." And everybody was crying, not dry in the place. Something powerful happens when we choose to offer up our gifts for the greater good. When we make the decision to give what we have to make things better, we're capable of causing great change. It's easy to stand back and complain, to sit back and pass judgment about somebody we've never taken the chance to get to know, to fear someone simply because they're different. But it takes bravery, kindness, compassion, and most importantly, love, to look past what makes you and I different, to find the common ground that will allow us to make each other better and turn our dreams into reality. Class of 2019, my challenge to you is simple. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Love everyone, even if they don't necessarily deserve it. Whatever it is that makes you special, I truly hope to go out into this world aiming to offer up and utilize your gifts to make this a better place for yourselves, your families, my family, and everyone who will come after us. If you simply paid attention hoping I'd tell you about my embarrassing college graduation story, nah, not today. But I really do hope that you...
Now it is time for the presentation of the diplomas. In keeping with the dignity of this occasion, the audience is asked to remain quiet until all diplomas have been given and the entire program is complete. Parents and family members are invited to stand and be recognized as their seniors' name is called. Thank you all.
Roy Alexander Baber. Sampson Ray Booth. Ashley Amanda Braxton. Avery Elizabeth Browder. Benjamin Ridge Burton. Skylar Ray Cole. Sadie Caroline Duncan. Madeline Rose Rattler. Skylar Nicole Hall. Mackenzie Lane Hardin. Alexis Juarez. Reagan Lane Kaling. Madison Lee Lewis. Hannah Gray McDaniel. Jameson Gray McDaniel.
Yes, Jameson!
Logan Neal Pugh. Andrew Scott Poteet. Jillian Marie Rodriguez. Hannah Noel Shepherd. Jacob Hunter Smith. Emily Grace York. Levi McKinley Adams. Luis Bostejo Alclair Alejo. Fletcher Austin Aury. Michaela Dale Aury. Waylon Lynn Aldridge II. Jacob Paul Ambrose. Richard Lewis Anderson. Stephen Michael Atkins. Ezekiel Ayala Hernandez. Carson Wayne Bailey. Austin Blake Baker. Daniel Ishmael Bautista. Stephen Dale Belcher. Jessica Marie Brady. Tegan Lynn Brady. Logan Brian Bray. Jacqueline Ann Breland. Austin Keith Brown. Julie Leanne Bullens. Alexandria Celeste Burrell. Tyler Campbell. Catherine Stephanie Shea Sanchez. Houston Tyler Clark. Logan Rose Kaufman. Lexi Caitlin Porter. Dylan Andrew Danes. Madison Mackenzie Dark. Gavin Scott Davis. Joseph Thomas Davis. Natalie Christine Davis. Alexis Delgado. Felipe De Paz Marshall. Savannah Lee Dickens. Anya Lucia Dimas Sosa. Adanya Betsabe Dimas Sosa. Morgan Marie Downey. Caitlin Nicole Duncan. Catherine Quinn Ellen. Emma Jane Fay. Brittany Nicole Fields. Terrence Lamont Fletcher. Marlon Fox. Greason Wayne Gates. Joshua Wayne Gay. Mark Allen Gay. Tammy Nicole Gibson. Brian Antonio Gomez. Mariah Destiny Green. Jordan Renee Greason. Amy Shandy Guerrero Hernandez. Arlen Danielle Hager. Spencer Taylor Hall. Henry Earl Harden. Jordan Mackenzie Hayes. Mackenzie Marie Hedrick. Dylan Cole Henderson. Carter Waldron Peel. Spencer Garner Henshaw. Jordan Taylor Lane Hodges. Dennis Mark Hooker. Megan Deborah James. Natalie Luann Jennings. Jacob Logan Johnson. Stephanie Noel Johnson. Jackson Daniel Jones. Shaughnessy Kiara Jones. Jacob Augusta Jordan. Anna Doreen Kaufman. Caroline Grace Keaton. Christian May Kellum. Stephen Jared Kearns. Alexis Kirsten Knott. Chase Levi Koenig. Brendan Michael Kretzenberg. Kristen Nicole Lamb. Howard Randall Lambert. Cassidy Joe Lee. Jeremy Edward Leonard. Mackenzie Lee Lineberry. Riley Brianna Lineberry. Dalen Ty Locklear. Kendra Lynn Marley. Madeline Taylor Martin. Oscar Martinez Alberto. Alexis Diamond Jovette Mason. Nicholas Joseph Mastriato. Austin Drew McClure. Samantha Ray McGuire. Kristen Marie McPherson. Edgar Mondragon Flores. Haley Adelaide Morgan. Antonia Lachey Morris. Tyler Michael Morrison. Julia Rose Nelson. Thomas Chase Nichols. Maria Conception Nieto Pedro. Calvin Cole Nixon. Miranda Elaine Knott. Jacob Quinn Norris. Isaiah Luke Overly. Billy Dale Owens. Taylor Rose Owens. Johnny Lee Griffin Paychartle. Merica Ricardo Gonzalez. Nathan Randall Payne. Zachary Austin Poole. Bobby Joe Purcell. Natalie Marie Ratcliffe. Daniel Joseph Reddy. Elizabeth Talbot Remsburg. Wendy Reyes Castro. Todd Mateo Richardson Jr. Andrea Page Ring. Andrew Ray Ritter. Jorge Dante Rivero. Alyssa Mackenzie Robertson. Khalid Kaim Robinson. Logan Bailey Root. Colin Bailey Calvert. Ashley Dawn Shelton. Madison Brooke Shingler. Brandon Cole Schauffer. Cassie Marie Shotwell. Michael Christopher Shotwell. Jaden Ray Smith. Tatum Ashley Smith. Michael Tanner Summers. Kenzie Nicole Staley. Diego Suarez Garvis. Nydia Areli Suarez Sanchez. Jeremy Scott Summerlin II. River Josiah Swartz. Evan Sloan Taylor. Dylan Lee Tempe. Kirsten Jade Thomas. Skyland Faith Thompson. Wesley Ray Thorpe. Madison Noel Tempe. Brian Joseph Tuttle. Sarah Elizabeth Tysinger. Ty Antonio Vasquez. Roby Thomas Ward. Holden Charles Westner. Wiesner. Brandon James Wellborn. Romy Wellborn. Samantha Lee Welch. Alexis Cheyenne White. Katie Lynn Willard. Carson Page Williams. Justin Ryan Williams. Wilson. Destiny Michelle Woods. Sabrina K. Warwick. Allison Connor Young. John Lee Young. Wesley Dontre Young. Michael Benjamin Zapia.
Graduates, please stand. By the authority vested in me by the state of North Carolina and the Randolph County Board of Education, I pronounce you graduates of Providence Grove High School, class of 2019. Turn your tassels.